What's good, my people? It's your boy 336 Money, and you are now tuned in to another episode of the 336 Podcast. I'm here today to tell you that I am ahead, not up to date. Yes, that means I am from the future. Your today is just my yesterday. Spoiler alert, ain't shit changed. What's good, my people? As I have mentioned, you are now tuned in to the 336 Podcast, which currently airs Sunday. Additional segments coming soon, so make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel, like this video. We have a lot coming. All right, guys, let's talk about it. Very interesting week. A lot of things happened since our last podcast, so let's just talk about it, man. First thing we have to start off by saying is that we tried to get Lil Boosie on the show, man. Boosie Boo, man. From that from that rule, that track, cross the track. You know what I'm saying? We tried to get Boosie on the show. Boosie was in town this weekend, and, he was reaching out, and, we reached out to him. We were not able to make it happen. As you can see, no Boosie interview today. Boosie is not on the 336 Podcast this Sunday. But, man, let's talk about it, man. We almost got Boosie Boo, man. So that was just good to do. That was been our first major guest. We are accepting guests, too, on the podcast, if you did not know. So be sure to, let a friend know to let a friend know. You know what I'm saying? If you know Boosie Boo, tell him to spin back around to the 336, man. And we're going to take good care of him and show him a whole lot of love. You feel me? But yeah, men's NCAA title game is now set for this upcoming Monday. It will be the 8th seeded Carolina, baby. You already know, you know what I'm saying? Like Chapel Hill down the street, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of my family went there. So we talking about Carolina right down the street in the city. Number 1 seed Kansas also made it after they beat Villanova. So this is going to be a great game. The number 1 seed versus the number 8 seed. This rarely happens, I feel like, but every time it do happen, the 8th seed always gonna win, man. So UNC is looking like a championship team. This is great. As you guys know, that also means that Coach K's final ride, his farewell coaching tour, is now over. It's come to an end as Duke and Carolina battled it out on the biggest stage, the biggest rivalry, on the biggest stage with the most at risk. And let me tell you why so many different things at risk. First of all, a trip to the Natty. You already know we're trying to win that championship. Coach K's potential last game. He wants to go out on top. Everybody wants to leave with that chip. You know what I'm saying? Also, you have the rivalry, which was at 50-49 Duke's way. So now the rivalry has been played 100 times, and it is an even 50-50 split between Carolina and Duke. Now, if that's not a great rivalry, I don't know what is, guys. This really shows you how much this is just a back-and-forth tug-of-war between these two neighboring teams. And how much this means to the culture. You know what I'm saying? The culture was there. You know what I'm saying? We're going crazy out there in Chapel Hill. If you guys got to see anything, a lot of people in attendance for the game as well. A lot of things was going on, man. Carolina men's and women's basketball very successful. This is just a crazy story with Coach K's finals ride. There's also a first-year head coach. This is his historic run. This is the first time that a first-year coach has made it this far, and now he's making it to the national title game with the legitimate chance of actually winning the title game. Hubert Davis, man. Let's give it up for black coaches, man, because minority coaches do not get the shot. I want to see other minorities, man. The Latino community, the Asian community. I just want to see different communities be able to make it to this stage and get coaching opportunities because there are a lot of great coaches out there that do not get the shot. Roy Williams was in attendance for the game last night. As you know, he's the prior head coach, the historic Hall of Fame head coach. He was turned up about this. He was in the crowd going crazy, if you guys were able to see that clip. But yes, Hubert Davis leads this team, man. I think he just won Coach of the Year as well. This is just an amazing story and an amazing run. And we're going to see Monday who's going to win. You guys comment. Who do you think is going to win, Kansas or Carolina? Either way, it's going to be a great game and a great story. It was great for fans Saturday night as they were able to witness a great rivalry match, and Coach K's farewell tour now comes to an end. Let's get into some news. Biden, he has signed off on this law, federal law, that makes lynching a federal hate crime. Yay! Federal hate crime, lynching. Only problem with this bill is a few things. Only problem with this bill is that it's 2022. we've been like we're still fresh out the civil rights movement. So guys, don't forget that. Like, we just now ending segregation. We're just now being able to coexist with each other. We're just now able to get this separate but equal over. We're just now exiting that phase of our country. We're just now losing all of our revolutionaries. And we're still facing a lot of those same things. They've just been manipulated into police killings. There's still lynchings going on as early as last year down the street from me in Virginia. It's been some things going on due to these protests, man. These guys are really out here. They hate people that look like me, and maybe even other minorities too, but definitely people that look like me. They hate us, and they are doing everything they can to show those biases against us, man. And now this law is considered a big win, a big success, because lynching is something that should just automatically be a hate crime. And the other problem with this is that they've been trying to pass lynching legislation for over 100 years. So that's what I'm saying, guys. Like, this has been going on so long. Like, why does it take 100 years? And look at this, too. This bill has been introduced over 200 times. This is the 200th time that this bill has been introduced to legislation, and this finally being passed in 2022. And I mean, this was introduced last year. So you got to understand, like, the weirdness of this and why it's a big win, but it just shows you just this sad reality that we live in. Even in 2022, we're still having a fight for legislation that says lynching is a hate crime. It just sucks that this bill even had to be introduced 200 times plus for people to say, yeah, you know what? Lynching is bad. And even then, there are still 3 representatives of the Senate that still refuse the bill and, was not unanimously decided for because of those 3 people. But there's still 3 people out there that feel like, you know what, lynching should not be a hate crime. It sucks. Like I say, that boy Biden, he put that Asian hate bill right into the jam. And, we finally get this on the back burner for anti-lynching. But I really was trying to take a deeper look into this bill and what it means, what it covers, because I just feel like something is up, man. It's got to be something else. I think this may not really be to help out the black community. I feel like this is to target us in some way, because that seems like that's the only time the government ever does something for us. It's to kind of target us, and we kind of miss it sometimes because we think, oh, yay. But a lot of times it's a lot of crazy things, just like, the whole crack pipe thing, a couple of weeks ago. When they thought he was giving out crack pipes, but he was really giving out syringes to help the heroin epidemic. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't really for black people. They just made it seem like that. But we don't do our research. And that's why I'm here, man. A 336 podcast gonna keep the people educated. Go ahead, like this video right now, man, if we educating you. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so yeah, it's 200 times, 100 years later, 2022. Everybody else, we're accepting gays. We're trying to push for Asian equality. And we're just now getting a anti-lynching bill put into place, man. It is what it is, whatever. I just feel like keep our eyes looked out for how this bill is going to be used in our federal court system, because I feel like it's something to it, man. They just not looking out for us, man. We got to protect each other, protect ourselves, and hopefully that this does help out in some cases, for the welfare of the minority communities that live in America. But unfortunately, I think it's more to it than just that. All right, so you guys know we have to talk about it, man. Willie Wills, the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, baby. Yeah, hey, man, my boy Will, there's a lot to be talked about and to be broken into when you talk about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett's relationship. However, that is a whole nother segment in itself. If you want to come on the 336 podcast and talk with me about Will and Jada, we can even get you via phone. Let me know, guys, because we can definitely have some conversation about this, but let's just talk about it, man. Will Smith at the Grammys, not the Grammys, but the Oscars, the Academy, He actually walked on stage after a joke was passed on to his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, from Chris Rock, who was hosting that night, about let me know when G.I. Jane 2 comes out. And if you guys just look up G.I. Jane, and then as soon as you look up G.I. Jane, you look directly at Jada Pinkett Smith, you are going to have a somewhat better day, because that was actually kind of a pretty good joke. However, Jada Pinkett struggles with alopecia, so she was not voluntarily rocking her hairstyle and her cut. So that may be a little offensive to her, and she may be a little insecure about that. So, however, that kind of triggered something. And, you know, comedians, they make their living off of picking on people's insecurities. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you're a big person, they're going to talk about how big you are. If you're skinny, they talk about how skinny you are. If you dark skin, they talk about how black you is. If you light skin, they talk about how light you is. This is just how it goes. If you white, we're going to talk about how white you are. That's just how it goes. You might not even really be white, but they just gonna get on you. You know what I'm saying? And if you ain't all the way white, they gonna just talk about how you like being black. They always target insecurities in comedy. What we understand this, you know, we understand this. This is something that we've done. Will considered a somewhat comedian himself for his role in, you know, the TV shows growing up, The Fresh Prince. That was a comedy. You know, it was a family comedy, and he was someone who used to crack jokes. The internet is undefeated, guys. They've even brought up some clips of him on the Arsenio Hall show talking about a guy in there and his bald head. He was talking about somebody's bald head, and now somebody talked about his wife bald head. It seems like he tried to keep it cordial. However, cameras did show that his wife, Jada, she wasn't really feeling too cordial. She didn't really like it. She tried to play it off, but it really hit a nerve. So Will, at this point, he just flipped. He flipped to the Wild Wild West Will. And Wild Wild West is one of my favorite movies. It is a very underrated movie, man. Comment how you feel about Wild Wild West. But I love Wild Wild West. But he went up there, smacked Chris Rock, and walked off with the Wild Wild West jag, man. I'm talking about he walked off with some swag. His form was perfect. I mean, it's like he practiced this slap, you know, for like ever, you know? And, yeah, he walked in, and he just wanted him to keep his wife's name out his mouth. And yeah, a lot transpired. Chris Rock will not be pressing charges. He's still trying to process it. Chris Rock's ticket sales have went up like over probably 500% since then, and his tour is now selling out at an extreme rate. Chris Rock's brothers, they are, you know, ready. I guess it's 10 of them. Will is resigning from the Academy at this point, and what that means is he will not automatically be in review for certain things and certain awards, and he have to be like an invite type of thing. They are not saying that they'll take away his Best Actor award, which let me tell you guys, I was asked to see King Richard multiple times, and I was just like, no, I'm not interested in that. I do not care about them girls in that tennis racket. I don't care about it. But let me tell you guys, I'm glad that I seen King Richard. I just watched it this past week, and let me tell you something, man. He definitely killed that role. Netflix and Sony are backing off of him for this Fast and Loose action thriller that they were currently shooting. People don't really know like how deep that's gonna go. I think they're backing off to see what happens with the Academy, as Will Smith did resign from the Academy, and they are saying further disciplinary action will be taking place on him. Not sure what that means or what that looks like, but that's something that's going to be happening soon. So be on the lookout for that. This situation will continue to drag. I want to know what you guys think about it. Was Will right? It's been a lot of back and forth. If you guys want me to do a segment on it, we can go really, really deep into that relationship and the dynamic of why that slap could have potentially happened. I don't know. Comment. Make sure you like this video. Subscribe so you guys don't miss any of our other content. Again, we airing on Sundays with a lot of additional content dropping throughout the week. So make sure you subscribe so you don't miss anything. It's your boy 336 with another segment on the 336 podcast. Thank you guys for tuning in. Y'all stay safe, but most of all, stay sucker free out there, man. Zip!